Here's the snap, back to throw. Has some time, steps, throws, pass, caught by Fedoni at the 20. He's to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Thomas Fedoni leaped in the air, clutched the football, and then had open turf into the end zone.
Knocked down, bump set Stanford over the left. Big shot by Elliott Rubin. She stopped, guess who? Becca Alec, are you kidding me?
Gets the snap, options to the far side, gets by one tackler, 35-40, Heinrich to midfield, off to the races, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Nebraska.
Liz Grigorski, former Wisconsin Badger, line drive serve, good pass, Rodriguez the slide, wow, Andy Jackson, kaboom, and that draws some oohs and ahs.
Lombardi play actions, being rushed, gets hit, goes down, another sack for the Cornhuskers, and Jay Sherman, the first on the scene. It's a loss of 9.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back with the athletic director. First time since really school started. It was the last time we had Trev with us. We got him for the entire hour. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. I just feel like so much has happened since we had you here, like I think August 23rd. A lot has taken place. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. Yeah, a lot going on, and time moves quickly. And fortunately, a lot of really good things, Greg, have happened since the last time we've been together. So that's good.
4 football games. Give me your thoughts on when we won back-to-back, including Saturday over Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, I suppose in a perfect world, having a new coaching staff, you would maybe hope to not start the season with a conference game on the road and then go on the road again with a historical rival. But, you know, really pleased with the progress. And I know Coach Rhule and his staff are working really hard. And, you know, just watching our team continue to make progress. And I think you can kind of see a little bit of the blueprint that we're trying to do. And he's trying to do in our coaching staff, and really building on a great defense. You got to have a great defense. You have to stop the run in the Big Ten. You have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. You have to be able to run the football. And obviously some of the other things take a little bit longer. We got a team that's still learning. You know, we're going to continue making mistakes, but boy, I don't think you can fault their effort. I mean, they're playing really hard. I think the culture is sound, and just obviously looking for continued improvement, and obviously a great opponent this weekend, you know, in Michigan, that really has the blueprint in a lot of ways to win Big Ten games and to establishing with a great defense, line of scrimmaging, running the football, play action pass, do those types of things that win you big games. So a great test, but really proud of the progress so far.
And a great opportunity. Big Fox will be carrying the game. It's the third time Huskers have been on that. The exposure level's been really good for the first 5 games.
Yeah, I would like to mention, you know, and kind of looking at it, of course, we've been on Fox, as you mentioned, but you look across the Big Ten and what our new media partners, I think it's been really great. Just really been great to watch those games being produced on NBC and CBS, of course, Big Noon Kickoff, and Fox and the rest of our partners. The amount of exposure not only the University of Nebraska is getting, but the Big Ten in general has been really, really good. It's been produced at a really high level. And again, we're appreciative of the opportunities, and we're just hopeful that we can come through with a big victory in one of those great games where a lot of people are watching.
Saturday, I'm sure for an athletic director, was one of your nightmarish things where you have a thunderstorm come through and you got to stop everything. You got to make sure 90,000 people are taken care of. How did you feel like all that went?
Well, I thought it went really well. Obviously, it's really difficult, and I'm grateful to our fans, Greg. You know, I mean, when you ask people in the middle of a game, hey, you're going to have to vacate the premises, go seek these, you know, our fans just continue to do the right things. It's just hard to navigate through that many people, but, you know, I talked to the team once we knew that there was likelihood that we were going to have some weather challenges. I said, let's just make sure that we're buttoned down. And I was just really pleased with the event management staff, all of our partners, campus partners, you know, in our football program. You know, Dr. Susan Elza, who was representing football in those meetings, and it was just really neat to watch. I think everything happened appropriately, and obviously the safety of our fans is of the utmost priority, and we're hopeful that we don't have a lot of those types of games, but from time to time when we have those disruptions, we need to have a really good process in place. You have to have one person in charge, one decision maker, and those are driven by player and fan safety, and I thought it was executed nearly flawlessly.
And I think it was important to the coach to finish the game, not just leave 8.5 minutes out there. And Louisiana Tech looked like they cooperated pretty well to say, yeah, we'll stick around and get this thing done.
Yeah, you always want to, you always want to end the game. You want to complete the game and complete the competition. And Eric Woods, the athletic director, I've known him. I serve on the football oversight committee with him, and a good person. It's really important to him in their program. Again, they they had the football, and ultimately they did what they wanted to do. They wanted to keep growing their program, and they went down and scored on us. It was 28-7 at that time, and so they came out and continued to compete and play well. So that's just part of what we face when you play a fall sport like that outdoors. You're going to have occasional weather that's going to disrupt it, but the most important thing to me is that we have a really good plan in place. We know who clearly the decision makers are, and we have to allow them to do their jobs, and we have to communicate well. And I'm sure it wasn't perfect in some areas, but by and large, I thought the team did a really, really good job.
Good. Now, with delays, and we talked about the television partners, I know there was an issue, and I may be heading off a phone call tonight about this. BTN was in a tough spot because they had a doubleheader that night with some night games, and I think some people that maybe were out of state did not get to see the conclusion of the game. They would have had to have gone to like a Fox Sports app. That's a tough spot for a network to be in.
It is a tough spot, and it's one of the things that we can do too. I know that on the ticker a lot, right? They're trying to communicate. For those of you fans who are here, you're going to have to tune in there. We can use our assets in terms of social media as well to try to advance that messaging, but it is tough. Obviously, all of these games are built on broadcast windows, and when you have this type of disruption, games get moved, they get put on apps, they get on, perhaps BTN Plus or something like that at time to time. And so we just ask our fans to do their best, to have a little grace and mercy. We apologize for that disruption, and we can do a better job of trying to advance some of the messaging as well.
Okay, very good. You talked about having a sport outdoors, weather can have a problem. That was the big fear for Volleyball Day in Nebraska, but you ended up having a really nice day to have that contest take place.
I tell you, we are still sort of reveling in that night. And again, I know we've talked a little bit about this previously and through social media and others, but our team, and you were part of that, but our team, I thought, executed that evening. I am not aware of a single thing, Greg, that in retrospect we said, well, that didn't go according to our plan. And that was a result of 7 months of preparation and just the really hard work of everybody. I just sent a message that says, number one, we're not going to spare any expense to make sure that this thing is elite, right? The one thing you can't control is you can't control the weather, you can't control humidity, and you can't control, but everything relative to player safety and our team went above and beyond. So the good Lord smiled down upon us. We got a beautiful evening. And I'll tell you, Greg, if I'm totally honest, the competitive piece for me was about breaking a record, and I thought it'd be fun. I totally missed, and now I understand the much bigger impact and the value and the meaning of this far beyond doing an outdoor volleyball game. When that game ended, and I had the privilege to go up on that court with Coach Cook, I looked at our team, and this is after the game, and every one of our players had tears in their eyes or was crying, and you saw the emotion from John Cook. That was the first time it really hit me about this impact. This wasn't just an impact for a night. This has the potential to have an ongoing impact for a long time. And what a privilege and a pleasure to be a part of it. And I, again, am just so grateful to everybody who just did everything. They did their part. People worked. There's names that you'll never hear that without them this would have not happened. And they did it because they love Nebraska. They love our volleyball program. They love the impact of women's athletics on our state and the opportunity to bring people together for something bigger than ourselves. That's what we can do in athletics. And people came from all over the country to watch this spectacle, and it was special.
Magic Johnson tweeted about stumbling on it. He must have been flipping the channels and saw BT. And Danny Cannell, the former Florida State quarterback, who is a girl dad, got 3 daughters, said, boy, to see that meant a lot to him, because he said a lot of girls say, man, I wish I could experience something like that. And on that night, Nebraska allowed a group of athletes to experience that kind of a crowd.
You know, I got a lot of texts, too. One of the classiest texts I got was from the athletic director at the University of Wisconsin, Chris McIntosh. And, he pointed out we're fierce competitors on the court and on the field, and Wisconsin and Nebraska, a little rivalry, he said. But he said, as a father of an incoming volleyball player, a collegiate volleyball player, just how much it meant to him and his family that we would do that at the University of Nebraska for our female student athletes. And so just pure class from him and its impact. I mean, beyond just, some of that, you think about, I got some of this notes from our team. We had 43 million impressions through social media.
Wow.
We were trying to figure out, like what was the true impact? $1.6 million of social brand value generated, and our Husker volleyball program gained over 60,000 followers on their Instagram and TikTok accounts. Now, I know for most people like me, they're like, what does that matter? I can assure you, as we're moving forward in college athletics, those types of things matter. So a transformational event that happened for our program.
Got a text question, wanted to know if you could feel comfortable sharing what the take was for the state colleges to participate in that. I don't know if you want to do that, but
I'm
the
happy
impact
to.
of doing that was great for Wayne State and UNK and UNO as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to actually share that. We made a commitment, assuming that the weather, if we could play it outside. So each of those schools got a $50,000 honorarium.
Wow.
And, you know, we respectfully requested that it be used for women's athletics and invested in their volleyball programs. So that was a commitment of ours. We also, just so you know, and again, I'm a pretty transparent person, between all of the expenses to set it up, all the field, you know, when we did the staging, part of it was we had to have twice as big. You know, John rightly was very concerned about the players. We didn't want to have any player safety issues. And so we set up, there's a small crown on the field, so you couldn't just put the floor. So we had to build staging. Well, then we put down some of the plywood and it still felt, so then we had to have a second level of plywood all screwed in. So we spent $1.7 million on the event and still generated a nice return on it. But the stress and the risk was we had over $1 million of sunk cost. So if the weather would not have cooperated, but you know, I think in the end, in a situation like this, the reward certainly outpaced the risk in this case, and we're just grateful that we had that opportunity to do it.
And by the way, your team's pretty good.
Well, one small thing we haven't talked about, John Cook and his staff have assembled just a remarkable group of talent and a team. I mean, I know Wisconsin's a really, really good volleyball program. I haven't seen them yet, but I sit there, you know, and I love going to those games, and they announce the starting lineup, and I always put myself in the mind of the opposing coach, and they'll say, a freshman, a freshman, a freshman, and they've got to be thinking, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it'd be one thing if they were all seniors and it's just 1 year of, but the way the freshmen play, we'll have All-Americans that aren't playing a ton just because of the depth on this team. I think John has done a remarkable job and his staff of managing the expectations. It's one thing to build a program. It's another thing to have elite talent and to keep them all focused on something bigger than their own stats. And I see a great culture. I see people who started last year that aren't playing as much this year who are equally as supportive. That's the sign of leadership and a great culture. And boy, and I've said this before, and I'm sorry I'm talking too much, but don't take the volleyball program for granted. We look back now on our football program during that run, right? And we just kind of, you'll get comfortable thinking that it'll always be this way. There's no guarantee that volleyball at Nebraska will always be like this. So embrace it, enjoy it, and take it in.
You've added some seats at Devaney for the year. That seems to have gone over pretty well.
Yeah, we could have added a whole lot more, but you know, they're immediately sold out. We have a waiting list. You know, we could probably add twice as many suites or more and have them sold immediately. But that, again, that's just reflective of the, you know, it's one thing to win, but we talk to our coaches a lot about, you know, how do we play? You know, and part of what we talked about football, we talk about what Matt Rhule's trying to do is have a style of play that our fans, part of what I think our fans love about our volleyball program is it's just the way they play. Like, the defensive effort, you know, no ball is necessarily down, right? Just based on Lexi and the rest of that team that are they're gonna go for it, and it's just so fun to watch. And I think our fans really identify with that kind of effort and passion.
We get this question from time to time, so I'm passing it on to you. Any thought about moving some matches to PBA to increase the attendance level?
Yeah, it is a good thought. You know, I mean, there's a couple things at play. First of all, you know, you have to be careful because PBA doesn't always have guaranteed dates, right? So they're in the concert business, and so they need some flexibility there. Secondly, obviously, there's going to have to be an expense, you know, at PBA because it's not our facility;
right.
It's a city-owned facility, and so there's some expense there. And so secondly, then you're sitting with a venue that is paid for, that doesn't have any debt service, and that doesn't have any rental cost. And quite frankly, I think John has really built a home court, advantage there within an advantage. So certainly not saying it'll never happen. It's something that I think from time to time we can think about some different creative and entrepreneurial ways. But total transparency, I really haven't had that conversation with Coach Cook. I wouldn't even know what his perspective would be on it at this point.
Very good. All right, folks, phone lines, text lines open for you, 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. More with Trev coming up.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail, or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
There's room at the table, saving you money on every gallon at a CVA fuel site. Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount at the pump to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get a 5-cent discount and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Flu season is here, and your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you stay healthy. Get your flu shot at Hy-Vee today and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. You can get your flu shot anytime the pharmacy is open. No appointment necessary. That's right. Get your flu shot with no appointment necessary. Get your flu shot today and earn a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens. But every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It is our athletic director's show for the month of September. We are into fall. Huskers have a home game Saturday against the Michigan Wolverines. Got a text question for you. You'll get a chuckle out of this initially, I think. Question for Trev. Why has the Nebraska Athletic Department continued to allow the football program to have to play its first game on the road in conference for the past 4 years?
Well, I'm not sure that we've allowed the Big Ten. The reality is, my good friend Pratt Kraft and I talk about this. For whatever reason, and I can assure you there's nothing nefarious, I think Penn State has started on the road in conference play 11 straight years. And I think, I may have this wrong, but I think we're at 6.
We are.
We're at 6. And so that's been brought up to
subtly, maybe not so subtly,
to the Big Ten about perhaps we can rethink that a little bit. So there's a lot of nuance to scheduling. Scheduling's hard. We thought we got close to having one, and then we thought maybe we'd have Oregon and Washington join the conference too. So we've got more work to do. We're going to be meeting in person soon, and we're going to try to get at least that 24 rotational schedule figured out.
Ken wants to know, how has the new football complex, how is it going, and how is it going to help recruiting?
I think it's going really well. Again, I want to salute our partners. Football is fully in there now. They're in the locker room. They're in the recovery areas. They're utilizing the equipment room. They're utilizing athletic training and athletic medicine, those types of things. Still working hard with our partners on the rest of it, and again, holding out hope that by the end of the calendar year we can get the rest. So it's just truly a remarkable facility. And how's it going to help? Well, every single prospective student-athlete recruit is being walked through the Go Big project, seeing the impact, so much of it on recovery and player-specific growth and development, which is really important to a lot of these recruits. So it's a really important project to us.
Very good. Question from Swede out in the Panhandle. He said, I would love to see some of the Hall of Famers honored around the stadium, perhaps on banners around the light poles. The major award winners are obviously displayed in the North Stadium, but would love to salute all of our past great players.
It's a great point, and I want to thank that person for that text. There is a lot of opportunity for us, Greg, to do a better job of telling our story. And it's not just the football story, it's all the rest of our sports. And we've kind of got this fragmented. You can go see a couple things over here, and at the Go Big, there's going to be a public component maybe where you're going to see. But I think part of the Go Big opportunity is, as that 315,000 square feet comes online, the backfill opportunity of our stadium, which is what we've been working on, gives us some opportunity to rethink how we engage our fans and showcase those. Quite frankly, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but also in how do we engage our former football players, former student athletes. We can do a better job in that area, and that's part of what our thinking relative to the stadium project looks like.
Very good. All right, we've had a couple of home games under our belt. The first one was notified as Ag Day. We had some displays out on West Stadium Drive, and you've done, I think, a marvelous job since taking over here of wrapping your arms around what's the biggest economic drive in this state, and that's the agriculture industry.
Well, I feel passionate about this. I love Nebraska, and Nebraska's good enough, right? Like, I don't think we need to run from what makes Nebraska, Nebraska. I think that's what our culture is. And I think agriculture, we had an ag day, obviously the game, but we hosted about 250 of the largest producers in our state. The Friday before, we had a dinner, a couple presentations. Governor Pillen came and really wanted to thank them. And this university was built by agriculture, right? I think our athletic department, in large part, and our football program was built by the support of the agriculture community and industry. And so, listen, we need to do as good a job as we can. And it's not just agriculture, but what makes this state unique? What's, from coast to coast, what is it? And we all come together on these Saturday games. Let's celebrate that. And it was a privilege to get to lift up. And I just love those on the big screen, the farmers out in their cornfield or we get a little feedback sometimes. Not everybody loves John Deere. Some people like, they want to, there's no effort to try to only showcase a certain type of machinery, I can promise our fans. But love Ag Day, and I love agriculture. I grew up on it, and it's a privilege to get to partner with them.
Last weekend was the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame, not the Nebraska Cornhuskers, but the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. It's an arm of the College Football Hall of Fame. Some former Huskers went into the hall. You were there. Some really touching speeches, and it meant a lot. Taylor Martinez we had on pregame. Spencer Long was here. Troy Dumas, a guy you played with, was really, really taken back by the emotion of his speech that night.
Yeah, I actually I got to sit at a table with Troy and his family and his wife, and I'll tell you, I don't think the average fan probably doesn't understand how impactful it is to get the privilege to be a student athlete at the University of Nebraska. And the fact is while you're here, you appreciate it, Greg, but until you leave, until you get to experience the real world and then understand just how much this place invested in you and how much your experience met, and how the fans just embrace our student athletes. You get a little older and a little wiser, hopefully, and you start to recognize just how impactful it was, not just during your time here, but everything. All of us have this little voice of Coach Osborne or Charlie McBride or George Darlington, constantly. And I'm sure it's that way for all of the sports. So great to see them. People like Taylor, I haven't been back since I left.
Right.
And so it's just great to have them back, and we need to do a better job of encouraging people to come back.
Taylor had a line in his speech. I want to run this by you. He said, to all the Husker fans, you're amazing, you're incredible, even to the ones who weren't big fans of mine. And I hope our fans remember that these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, boys or girls, men or women, playing sports here. Sometimes we need to keep that they're trying their best at most times. And quarterbacks take maybe a more brunt than most other athletes do.
Yeah, it's tough to play quarterback at the University of Nebraska.
It is.
When things go well, you're probably going to get more credit and praise than you deserve. And when things go poorly, you're going to get more blame than you probably deserve. But I think it's part of what steals and brings toughness to that position. It's not easy to play quarterback here, but if you can get through it. And I remember Coach Osborne telling us, he put us through a lot. But for those of us who stayed, and those of us who fight through it, you will be rewarded. And it's not just your playing time in football, it's your life. As Coach Rhule says, and he's right, there isn't a single kid, young man, out on that field on Saturday that's trying to make a mistake. There's not a single football player that's hoping that a defensive end beats him around the corner. It's not happening. Every single one of them is giving all they have for the University of Nebraska. So you're right. Criticism's fine. It's fair. But I do think a perspective from time to time is probably good.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. You made the comment off air. He's matured a lot. And 10 years out of college, that'll do it too. Dorothy Lynch, homestyle light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Let's go to the phones. Up to Albion. Skunk Man, you doing some harvesting right now? How are you?
Yeah, hauling some corn. But with Trev being on, I stopped at the side of the road because I wanted no interference on this from the tractor noise and everything. Trev, you're doing an awesome job. Our light show, I think, takes a back seat to nobody. The drones, I don't know how somebody says they're over by the Vandy Center, but that is so awesome that you got them, that included with it, the technology. And as far as I am a season ticket holder for football and for basketball. And I love both the stadium and the vault. I also want to tell you that I also was at the volleyball spectacular show, and 92,003 people. I'm telling everybody in the state of Nebraska I was that third person. Thank you, guys. No big room.
Thanks, Skunk Man.
Thank you, Skunk Man. First of all, thank you for pulling over, and thank you for the call. I appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting both football and our basketball programs. You know, I can't take a lot of credit. Our marketing department, led by Brandon Meyer, works really hard to come up with new and creative. And I remember when I told him, whatever you do for the volleyball deal, make sure that we surpass what we historically do for football. We're going to do this one time. And so he said, well, okay, what do you think about a drone show? And he brought me the first proposal and what the cost would be. And to his credit, I said, Brandon, we can't do that. To his credit, he was a good negotiator, and we got it to a palatable number. But just for those who don't know, it would be great to be able to bring the drone show right above the field. The reality is there's a safety issue, and so we don't have approval to bring it in. So that's actually, those drones are right above on the other side of the Go Big project. So the practice fields, those 2 grass fields, and so and that first time we did it, I think it was at the volleyball game, actually one of the drones came down. So that's why you have to have it over there in case you have one that malfunctions or comes down. It's a safety issue. I wish all of our fans got the same perspective of it, because some of the seats, it's a little bit harder to see the drones. But the reason why it's where it is it has to be in a place where there's no safety concerns underneath. But pretty cool.
It was neat. It was neat. He mentioned basketball. Today was first day of practice. The first day they could go out and practice. They're going to have a thing at the Vault on Friday night with a rapper. DDG will be there. I don't know any songs from that particular artist, but I'm sure it's going to be a fun time. And I think people are excited about it. Both Coach Hoiberg and Coach Williams' teams coming up here in about a month.
Well, I think they should be excited. I mean, I really think, you look at both of those programs, and I'm excited about women's basketball, and I think having Jazz Shelley come back really
huge
is just really huge for our program, and Amy continues to really build a great culture, and so I think you're going to continue to see some growth. They brought some good players in there, and then of course, Fred, the transfer portal, and some others. I mean, there's quite a few additions, a real focus on defense, effort, energy. You saw some of that last year. I'm bullish on both of those programs, and I think you're going to see teams that our fans really identify with and watch and love to compete.
Casey might be the most popular athlete on campus right now.
Well, we throw him up on the big screen at a football game, and I think Lexi Rodriguez surpasses him. I mean, Lexi, she's just so lovable, right? So I think it's Lexi. But again, what you love to do when you go support, you love to see young people that you really identify with and you just love their play. And our coaches have done a really good job of bringing in players, across the board that our fans can be proud of. They're good people. They work hard. They make mistakes. But in the end, I think they represent our athletic department so well.
Very good. Hey, Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenience sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400. More with Trev coming up.
Hey, Husker fans, Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Adidas, Champion, Columbia, plus gifts, accessories, and all of your tailgating needs. UNL students, faculty, and military always receive a 10% off in-store, and you can earn cash back with Hall Pass rewards. Shop their downtown Lincoln or South Point Pavilion locations or anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Husker fans shop.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in a company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. on the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For 47 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been family owned and operated. We'll treat you like family and focus on providing you the best buying experience possible. Visit us in Fremont to shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer. And if you need a commercial vehicle, we're your GMC Business Elite dealer. Shop at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear.
I reports a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hovig here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on New York equipment. The best warranty in town.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Trev's with us till the top of the hour. David on our text line for you. Is there any way we can have microphones for the press when they ask questions during the post-game press conference?
We certainly can, and we do. It's something I think we need to communicate a little bit better. So you will absolutely get those questions, but you have to go to our platforms. You have to go to Huskers.com or our Huskers app or Huskers YouTube channel. We can't control what some of our media partners choose to do.
Right.
You're not going to hear the questions if you go there. If you come to our platforms, all of the questions are included. So we can only control what we can control, which is if you come to our platforms, you will hear the questions along with the answers.
Very good. Let's go to Omaha. Doc of Rock, you're up with Trev. Good evening.
Mr. Alberts, Mr. Sharpe, how are we doing tonight? Go Big Red.
Thank you, Doc of Rock.
First, Trev, I remember your, I think it was an elbow injury back in the early 90s. I want to say maybe the 93 season. Was it the Oklahoma game?
It was, yes.
Yeah, and it kind of reminded me of how Siragusa had fell on my Raiders quarterback, but that's another story. But yeah, you ended up playing with kind of an injured elbow. And the way you guys got after Charlie Ward, just thanks for your contribution to Big Red history very much.
Thank you very much.
You bet. And speaking of our defense, man, if this is the foundation being laid and what's to come, man, oh man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Guys are flying to the ball. Everybody involved to go ahead and make sure the ball carrier's down. Now, some plays happen, some yards are gained, some passes are complete, but no defense is perfect. But really, really like the style and the intensity and Husker speed, as Coordinator White calls it. So there's that. Wanted to hear your comments, and I'll probably listen off air as far as stadium improvement, seat backs. Is there anything you could tell us with that? And thanks so much for your time, and go Big Red.
Well, thank you very much, Doc. I appreciate you making the phone call. And I first would just say I've been really impressed with Tony White. I think Coach Rhule made an excellent hire there. And I know there's been a lot of talk about the 3-3-5 and how does it hold up. And certainly this is a team in Michigan that's going to challenge your run defense like very few. I mean, Blake Corum, enjoy him as a running back. That's a tremendous running back. Although I'll take Anthony Grant, by the way. Yeah. I love the way he runs. Just a little bit on the stadium stuff. As we talked about, I think several shows ago, October 5th, we'll be making a presentation and seeking approval from the Board of Regents. For those of you who aren't aware, a week prior by state law, we have to post the agenda that will be made public. So Thursday morning, an agenda for the October 5th Board of Regent meeting will be made public. So I would only say, Doc, and you'll, I'm sure, see it, but you'll probably see some more information relative to the stadium modernization effort a little bit later this week.
It's a good tease right there. All right. Stay tuned to the end of the week. Folks, buckle up. Put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Interesting text for you. Trev, what's being done at Nebraska to address the problem of sports betting by college athletes?
Oh, what a great question. It's a challenge, I mean, when a space that is, so visible and so promoted across every, avenue and broadcast that you see, it's against the rules in the NCAA for student athletes to participate. And so what we're doing is we're doing everything we possibly can. Through education, we actually had a mandated, it was 90 minutes. All of our student athletes were required to attend. We brought them up to the West Club Lounge. We had two different, the Osborne era and the Devaney era. And so half the student athletes spent 45 minutes, and these were speakers that we had come in, experts in these areas. One was on hazing, and one was on sports gambling. And people make mistakes. Young people do things that, that perhaps they regret later. But I think for us and our team, and that was really Keith Zimmer and Life Skills. It was his vision and his planning. We need to do our part to educate our student athletes. At the end of the day, it costs eligibility, and these young people have such a short window to get to compete, and our job is to make sure that they understand what the rules are and what they can and can't do. And on the other hand is, hazing is a little bit beyond the student athlete. That's part of the culture of the department. We want to make sure that we clearly communicate what efforts are there. And then another final thing that we have done is we actually have included some software, and we actually have avenues for our student athletes to anonymously communicate any concerns that they have to our administration and to our coaches. And so I'm very confident that we have coaches here that would never tolerate those types of behaviors. But I'm pleased with our effort to try to educate our student athletes on what's appropriate and what's not. It's a real issue, and it's a challenge, and we're doing the best we can to navigate through it.
Very good. Good question. 402-413-2400. Need to slip in our final break. Back with some final thoughts from Trev coming up.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. More than $145 million in gross revenue has been generated by startup companies, founded by alumni of UNL's Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program since the program began in 2010. With over 230 Angler Program alumni growing businesses across Nebraska, the Angler Program is making a big impact on the lives of students, alumni, and Nebraskans.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better, now with 2 convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in-store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha. With Blue Credit, see dealer for details. Offer expires 7/31/2023.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Final few minutes with Trev. Big football game Saturday, volleyball team going. I have to mention your soccer team is playing really, really well. I know they dropped a 1-0 decision yesterday, and I think number 3 Penn State, but it's a good team.
7-2-2. John Walker has a great team. Eleanor Dale. An incredible goal scorer. Sarah Weber happens to be one of my favorites, and just love her style, the way she plays. So another team, I think, with a great culture that has worked really, really hard. I think their 2 losses were against ranked teams. He's got an NCAA soccer program, and I give him a lot of credit. But mostly I give a lot of credit for those young women. I love seeing them at the training table. They always smile. You can tell they have a great culture. Get out and watch them. They're fun to watch.
Got some home matches coming up this weekend. They were on the road last weekend, but home matches coming up this weekend. And your ball bat sports have some fall scrimmages going on. And softball, I know you're trying to find a way to squeeze some more people in the bowl next spring.
We talked about some of the more high-profile student-athletes we have here. How about Jordy Ball?
Yeah.
I mean, and her impact went out to a couple of those games. And, she's not just a pitcher, by the way. She happens to be really good at the plate, and I think she could play any position in softball, but they're going to have a really good team as well. Rhonda's built a great team, and we're going to do everything we can. We're pressed a little bit for time, but we have got to find a way to quickly navigate through a process that gets additional seating. I mean, we've got significant demand, and we need to meet that for our softball program. So I'll get an update from our facilities folks, but I know they're looking at how do we make some additional permanent seating and then maybe even some temporary seating that gives an opportunity for all of our fans to see Jordy and her teammates compete.
Trev, I've been to the first 2 home. This is a text. Been to the first 2 home games. Watched the tunnel walk. I've not seen an American flag. Did we miss it, or are they not carrying the flag out anymore?
Oh, that's a great question.
I don't think I've seen it either. So.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to check. Historically, that's been something that we've done. I know Matt really wants, Coach Rhule, this is about the players, so the players are leading out. I think it's a little bit different than Matt doesn't really lead the team out, some of the leaders and the senior leadership on the team, but I wasn't aware of that. Good question.
Good question. Thank you. Also, text question. Trev, I've got seats on the East Club. A little bit of an issue the first couple games. Is that being addressed?
Yeah, my update that I got, and I generally can see how it's going based on what some of the emails look like and other things, but our team invested significantly in a bunch more point of sales after the first game was not good, and part of that was us just learning that this is now premium seating and there's a different level of expectation, and so I thought the team had a good plan in place and did a much better job, made sure that we had food available. There was one, I think we ran out of one of those, but nothing like the first game. So we'll keep working on it. We can always do a better job in customer service. We're not ever going to be perfect, but we're going to do everything we can to support all of our fans. Very good. And a question in the chat room about any idea when we might see next year's football schedule? Well, I'm also waiting. No, we're working on it. Like I said, we had the 24 schedule that was prepared. Until then, we brought 2 additional teams, and so we've got several meetings with Commissioner Petiti scheduled that are coming up that we'll finalize through. I don't think we're going to get the actual dates. I think we'll get who our opponents will be, and we'll still have to work through what the scheduling is and what those dates are. But I really am hopeful, and at least that's what we've been communicated with, while there's going to be some change, primarily all the work we did to get the schedule that had been released, I'm hoping we don't have to tear the whole thing up and start over. I think there can be some slight adjustments to bring, Oregon and Washington in. Certainly there'll have to be an adjustment. But our fans just need to understand that this is going to be a lot different. And I know there's a little trepidation to sort of, equate or look at college football the same as the NFL. But from a competitive standpoint in the NFL, where every single game is going to come down to the last 4 or 5 minutes, it's going to be 2 or 3 plays. It's going to be, that's how razor thin these margins are going to be. When you start looking at these schedules, it's going to be very, very challenging. And the great thing is, as Matt said at his press conference today, young men don't come to the University of Nebraska to not play in games like this one we have this weekend, right? Every single game's going to matter, and it's going to be great. And our job is to rise to the level and find a way to win those games. Fantastic. About 30 seconds left. You mentioned the commissioner. He came for volleyball day. What, did he not? He was here. Yeah, Tony Petiti was here. Chief Operating Officer Kerry Kenny was here. We had Governor Baker, the president of the NCAA, was here, and much of his staff. And I will tell you, legitimately, they were blown away. And it was such a tribute to our team, to our coaching staff, to our fan base. And I'll tell you this much, it's got a lot of people thinking across the country about what they could do and how do they, and they're seeing the opportunity that women's athletics is bringing. And I'm just so glad that we've been investing in women's athletics for a long time, and we have a chance now to capitalize on it. Thanks, Trev. Thank you. Let's go get the maize and blue on Saturday. Another hour of Sports Highlight coming up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, Husker Nation. This is Jim Baldonado with the Home Agency. It's been a stormy summer, but that's why we do what we do. Whether auto, home, crop, farm, or commercial coverage, our agents shine when it comes to providing you with the best coverage and customer service after the sale. Our passion is keeping you protected so you can do more of what you love, like cheering on the Huskers. Give us a call today. Call home, the Home Agency, that is, at 1-800-245-4241. That's 1-800-245-4241.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Good evening, I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports sticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, Matt Rhule spoke with the media following the 28-14 win against Louisiana Tech. The coach spoke on several topics, but today's main headline was an update on the quarterback room. Here's what the coach had to say.
I play the guy I think gives us the best chance to win. So it's unique in that I have a guy that was the starter that, couldn't finish the game really, and then I had another guy that was a starter this past game that couldn't finish the game. So I had two quarterbacks that couldn't finish the game. So for me to sit up here on a Monday and say this is what's happening, this isn't like gamesmanship. I mean, both guys do the same thing really. So it's not like it's. My job is to get everybody ready because Chubba was going into the game as the number 3 and he was down there at the end of the game playing, right? So we get Chubba reps. Everything we do is reps, because I don't know who's going to play. I don't know who the hero is going to be this week. I don't know who the hero is going to be next week. So I don't know. So we just try to split the reps because we get so many reps because we're always doing multiple drills. It's the Nebraska way and we do it. So that helps us as opposed to most teams.
We'll hear more from the Coach Rhule from his press conference later on in the show. Turning towards college volleyball, the Big Ten released their weekly player awards today, where Bergen Riley was named both Setter of the Week and Freshman of the Week. Riley led the Huskers to sweeps of number 21 Ohio State and number 12 Minnesota over the weekend by averaging 12.6 assists per set, 1.6 digs per set, and 0.8 blocks per set. And finally, in NFL news, for the second week in a row, there are 2 Monday Night Football games. The Philadelphia Eagles are currently leading the Buccaneers 3-0 in Tampa Bay. That game is currently in the second quarter. And the Los Angeles Rams are playing the Bengals in Cincinnati. That game should be underway shortly. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich with 5 on a play clock, gets the snap, hands it off to Ramir. No fakes of handoff, throws it to the flat to Kent, makes a catch, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Great ball fake by Heinrich, flipped it in the flat to Kent, scoots in there. Nebraska leads at 6-0.
Liz Grigorski, former Wisconsin Badger, line drive serve, good pass. Rodriguez the slide. Wow, Andy Jackson, kaboom! And that draws some oohs and ahs.
Lombardi play actions, being rushed, gets hit, goes down. Another sack for the Cornhuskers, and Jay Sherman, the first on the scene. It's a loss of 9.
Cammy Minor sends the serve. Good pass set to the middle. Andy Jackson off the ticket out. Match point, big run. They take down Stanford on the road at Maples Pavilion. And the Big Reds undefeated.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on a Monday night. So good to have Trev on. And Jessica told him when we started, I go, my goodness. It's, I think, been 5 weeks since he's been on. So much has happened in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, when you started asking him about volleyball day, I mean, that you had him on right before.
The week before.
Yeah. So you hadn't even had a chance to get his thoughts on that. But I love that, what he said about that. That was the thing that I think stood out to me the most, is that he said, for me, it started off as a competition, like we want to get that record back. But then I realized it was so much more than that. And it has. We've seen how much bigger it became. And I mean, we're still talking about it a month later, and every volleyball broadcast, it's on TV, it's being brought up, and you're seeing the records, and it's just, it really has. I mean, Tyler Hildebrand said it best when he said it caused this ripple effect, and we will be feeling this ripple effect for a long time. But I love what he said about, it started off for me about getting that attendance record, but then I realized that it was so much more than that. And now we're just seeing so much interest in the other women's sports here too, and I love it. It could not make me happier, giddier to see just the interest and support for these women.
Over 43 million impressions.
Yeah.
Off that day.
Well, it was
that just boggles the mind.
And I was talking to the softball coaches the other day, and they've had a really hot streak of recruiting too. But they said that even Volleyball Day really helped them with their recruits. They've got recruits and recruits' families everywhere they go when they're going on recruiting trips, asking them about it. But that some of the biggest names in softball were tweeting about it. And then in soccer, some of the biggest names in soccer were tweeting about it. It it was just something that was appreciated. It was so much bigger than volleyball. And that's I think, what we get to at the very core of it. It was so much bigger than volleyball. It was about women's sports. And every women's athlete in America took notice of that. And we're tweeting about it. And you're talking about athletes with a huge platform that it just, again, I mean, even that night was a ripple effect that you're seeing some of these big, huge name women's athletes that have this huge following that are tweeting appreciation for what Nebraska volleyball did. And so, and then, you know, then you mentioned Magic Johnson and all these people that are tweeting about it. It's unbelievable. And it really did. It was so much bigger than even just the 93,000 people that were in the stands that day.
Gigantic. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. We haven't had him on since that took place. So a lot of ground to cover, a lot of ground for us to cover. We're coming off another football win. The weather-delayed game on Saturday, a 28-14 win for the Cornhuskers. I think Coach Rhule said it after the game. He goes, this may not have been advancing the ball as much as we would like, but you're certainly going to take a win. And I think things were really kind of rolling when the weather delay happened. Nebraska didn't get the jump start coming back, I didn't think, out of the hour delay.
Yeah, and you guys had talked about it on the broadcast about how it's probably more beneficial for the team that's down to come out of a delay than it is for the team that's up, because, I mean, like, it halted some momentum for the Huskers, and, you know, Louisiana Tech comes out and gets a quick score, and yeah, it wasn't the prettiest, but you find a way to win. I mean, that's the big thing, is you find a way to be the team that's ahead on the scoreboard at the end of the game. And you know, I just continuing to work through some things, and I, you know, you're down 2 running backs that you were relying very heavily on, and I talked about this a lot in the broadcast. I just think it's going to be, it had been, and it's a process too for these running backs, how to figure out what their role is in the protection part of it. And I told you guys this on the broadcast, that a lot of the conversations that were being had with Anthony Grant, Emmett Johnson were about that. It was about that and how they can help in protection. And, you know, that was something that even last year, you know, they were talking through with Anthony Grant. So I think it's just something that he's learning at this level and continues to learn. But then by the end of the game, he had a lot of it, you know, we saw him with that big block that opened up Fedoni. And I told you guys that Fedoni came over and was fired up, and that was because of you. I mean, that was about, other than Timmy Bleekrose, first down pickup, that was probably the biggest celebration, because that's what they had been wanting to see from Anthony Grant, from the running backs, and then because it was so much team that was involved in that, and it was a really cool celebration on the sideline when Anthony Grant did pick up that block.
135 yards for Anthony, 22 carries in the game, and he looked good. He had some jump cuts, he had some wiggle in there that got him some bigger gains and bigger yards. I thought he really played well. A little concerned about Heinrich. You just heard Henry and the Ticker had the clip with Matt Rhule talking about what's the plan for the quarterbacks this week. And he goes, well, I got 2 guys that haven't finished their games the last couple of weeks. So he goes, I can't answer that here on a Monday. You had mentioned on the broadcast they were working on Heinrich's left shoulder, not his throwing shoulder, but his left shoulder. And then he did not come back out and play at all after the delay.
And you guys had been saying that you had hoped that maybe you don't run him out there, that he did take a couple, and then he took a hit after that, right? In the third quarter.
He did. Yeah.
And so, you know, just again, not wanting to push it a little bit, and if Sims wasn't fully healthy, you give Chubba a go at it, because you also want him to get some experience, right? And so you thought, here's a good opportunity, but it's hard to say. I don't know how Heinrich is just such a tough guy, and he's going to play through it, and no matter what. And so you just hope that they can progress along through this week. But I don't know how bad it was, because he was refusing, and he even at the end put his helmet back on, like, hey, if you need me, I'll go back out there. So he's such a tough guy. You don't know how bad it is, but you felt pretty good. Obviously, hearing about the progression that Jeff Sims made throughout last week. He even came back in when the helmet came off of Heinrich. So another week, a full week, maybe he'll be healthy. And then you also give Heinrich another week. And we'll be talking about this all week, too, just like we did last week. Well, we might not know until closer to once you see how these guys progress throughout practice.
Defensive performance, again, I think was really solid. They hold La Tech to just 46 yards of offense. They did it. They hit a few plays in the passing game. But I just love what we're getting out of Deshaun Singleton and Omar Brown. Damon and I were raving about them on the broadcast, you talked to Deshaun after the game. Those two safeties are playing well.
They really are, and they have a cool relationship too. Deshaun talked about this in my interview post game about last year. They were kind of both waiting their turn a little bit. They both played some and in stretches and on special teams, but as far as being a consistent go-to guy every day, every down type of defensive back or player, it wasn't their time yet, and so they got really close, waiting their time, playing on the second team, on the scout team, and so they've got a lot of chemistry back there, and that's important. We talk about that being important for the lines. And the linebackers, with Luke and Nick, and I would even throw in John Bullock now because he's played so much that a lot of times they don't even have to communicate; they just know. And I think you can say that for the safeties too. I feel like they know each other so well, and I think that's, I think they have been a little bit of the unsung heroes. They were last week too, and I really like those two guys too. That you want to talk about. Two really great guys, too. I'm glad that they're getting their opportunity to shine. And, boy, Deshaun can lay down the hammer, right?
Oh, boy, some big hits. He was our NCPA hit of the game. He really lowered the boom.
He loves when he gets that opportunity, by the way.
I'll tell you what, I'm tired of you coming on saying you're seeing guys in street clothes in the second half. Second straight week. This week it was Luke Reimer. We don't know his status for this week's game.
Yeah, and he did. So the game last week, not this past game, but the game before against Northern Illinois, he did go in the tent but came back out and played. So not sure if it's the same type of maybe lingering injury, if they were just trying to play it safe. I have no idea. They, I don't even think he went into the tent this week. He put on his hat at the end of the game and did not have his helmet on, and then when they came back out, he was in street clothes. So not sure how serious that is. I know Coach Rhule said he was questionable, but hopefully you get a guy like that back. One thing I have noticed is that Chief Borders has been sitting in on those inside linebacker huddles. So maybe moving him inside to provide some depth there with some of those injuries.
As Damon pointed out, he's dead on. The way Nick Henrich has really stepped up his play, you feel better about the depth in there because, Nick didn't go through spring. We weren't sure what we were getting back with him in August, but he seems to be getting it kind of back up to snuff.
Yeah, and John Bullock has had to be that guy because when you have rotating injuries between Nick was out the first game and then was coming off the injury for the second game, and then Luke has been out, it's given him a lot of opportunity, and so he's been really reliable there. So yeah, you feel a lot better about the depth there this year than you did this time a year ago at inside linebacker.
Yeah, no question. Art, Los Angeles, Greg, off topic a bit. You were talking about bees swarming around your booth during the game. I think they were looking for coal. See what happens when you joke about bees.
They were looking for coal.
I think they might have been looking for coal. All right, so folks, if you have any thoughts, 402-413-2400 is your chance to recap Saturday's victory over the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. A 55-minute weather delay in the fourth quarter of that game, but we got her done, got her to the finish line, and got a victory for the Cornhuskers. We've got a practice report coming up. Head coach Matt Rhule met with the media earlier today. Some interesting clips, as always, from the head coach, and we'll get some more reaction from all of you. This is our Woodhouse Auto family. They are our sponsor of our hotline. They are also your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with more of the show coming up.
Greetings, human neighbor. Hey, Zendar. I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game. Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required. You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid. I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it? No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
With over 75 years of wealth management experience, Bridges Trust understands the value of tradition and legacy. They have built their reputation by helping clients achieve their objectives by providing exceptional service in investment management, trust and estate planning, philanthropic consulting, and family office services. They are in the business to provide specialized, comprehensive wealth advisory services that are in the best interest of their clients to help them grow and preserve their legacies for generations to come. Bridges Trust. Trust for generations.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT. Official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
There's room at the table, saving you money on every gallon at a CVA fuel site. Central Valley Ag offers a 5-cent per gallon discount at the pump to CVA fuel card holders. Now, for a limited time, get a 5-cent discount and be entered to win 2 VIP tickets to a Husker football game when you get a new or additional CVA fuel card. Sign up to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. Of course, you do know it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer supplying. Are they giggling again over there? Supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. He's laughing about his bee joke, I think. Acres, solutions for every field. Funny little text during the break. Did the officials just randomly pick numbers when announcing penalties? Twice they called the ball carrier for penalties. I did notice this. Once on Heinrich and then on Tommy Hill. It was a bad day for that crew.
Well, you guys were saying that you were like, that couldn't have been on Tommy because he was carrying the ball. So, yeah, it was, I don't know. I was coming out from interviewing Coach at that point, so I didn't hear that one. But, yeah, I heard you guys talking about a couple of those. It was pretty crazy. It was just an odd game, don't you think? It just had an odd feel from start to finish. And then the delay, it just was weird.
Yeah, it didn't have a good pace to it.
No.
A lot of punts early, and you're like, okay, can somebody get something going? And, they took all 4 of the media timeouts in the fourth quarter before the delay. So we'd only played like 6 minutes of the quarter, and we'd had 4 media timeouts. It took forever to get to that point.
And then I felt like there was more reviews. There's multiple reviews. And I don't know, it was didn't have a great pace.
No,
that's
it
a
didn't.
good way of putting it. It was just, I felt weird, and it got hot. I mean, I told you guys this on the broadcast, and I wasn't.
Damon got a
complaining.
kick out of that.
I know. It was just, I think Colorado got warm, but that was the hottest that it's been, and it just, I feel like even on the fans and stuff, it just can zap you if it's because you were used.
Might be warmer this week.
I saw it was going to be like 90, 91.
Yeah, windy, which might help a little bit, might stir some air, but 90 degrees at the end of September? What's going on here? All right, time for us to do a practice report.
Oh, somebody is not bringing his A
Sleep
game
at the wheel,
today.
huh? Let's do a practice report.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
Well, the text we just read talked about Tommy Hill. He played a lot on the offensive side of the ball on Saturday. Earlier today, Coach Rhule was asked about Tommy Hill playing more offense right now.
Yeah, we just I just love Tommy Hill. I think he's explosive. I think he's dynamic. I think he's tough. I think he's smart. He was about to take that kickoff return to the house. Now we got the holding call. He was about to take that kickoff return to the house. He fumbled it. And he's the first guy who's like, hey, that's on me. That's terrible, coach. So I just think when you have good players, you use them, right? So he was going to be a starting corner. He got hurt. He's kind of a rotational corner for us. He just works twice as hard, so he's helping us on offense. Initially, it was kind of as a big play threat, and then last week we just started using him more. Hey, you're practicing on offense, you're practicing on defense. So if I have a good player, I'm going to try to use him as much as possible. So he has the mind. A lot of guys couldn't do it. He has the mindset and the competitiveness and the intelligence to do it.
I mean, he certainly is explosive, right? We've seen that, but I was telling you this in the commercial break. He was. The first couple of games, he was sitting in with the defensive backs huddle with Evan Cooper. And then when they were going to utilize him on offense, they just call him over and he'd run out. But this past week, he was spending more of his time with the offensive side of the ball. He's sitting in the wide receivers huddle. He was having a lot of conversations with Marcus Satterfield. And I wonder, too, with the loss of the running backs and, maybe needing to move Billy Kemp back there. We saw Billy Kemp lining up back to take a handoff or two. And so just maybe with the shuffling of trying to find some rhythm and some guys to make some big plays on offense, maybe felt like he could be utilized on the offensive side of the ball. Because let's face it, the defensive backs room is loaded. They got a lot of bodies back there. And the area that maybe you need more help in is the wide receivers and that room. And so I did notice that he was definitely more with the offense this past game.
You go back to early August, and I know they thought they would get a lot out of Xavier Betts, Isaiah Garcia-Keston. They had two guys that have played some college football, so they're veterans, now not here. And so I think now they're going, Tommy's a guy that's played a lot of college football. He can make some things happen. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, and they had designed some plays for him because, I mean, he has electric speed, right? And so I think maybe now, again, just with the loss of so many bodies on that side of the ball, here's a guy that maybe you could utilize to maybe make some of those big plays that have been lacking. Let's face it, some of those big chunk plays that this offense really hasn't had a whole lot of. Maybe here's a guy that can help you out in that area.
Coach also was glad to talk about a walk-on from Papillion, tight end Luke Lindemeyer. He thought he had a terrific game on Saturday. Here's the coach.
I thought this week it was Lindemeyer was the guy. I mean, I think he's really he's a big man. He's really good in tight confined spaces of getting his hands and running his feet. So a lot of the runs we ran last week were off tackle runs, right? Like we ran the Teddy and Lindemeyer at the point of attack power, off tackle power. We ran the off tackle toss play, which is I've never run that play before. That's 40-41 pitch. That's Coach Ron Brown had to teach me that play, and so he's been fighting for that play forever. So I've never seen a guy happier on the sideline in my life because that's a true old Nebraska play, right? But Luke's making those plays go because of his ability to block at the point of attack. And when you watch Michigan, one things they're great at is their defensive ends at the point of attack versus tight ends. So we have a lot of guys that we trust. We'll use a tackle. We'll use some other guys. We have to play well. But Luke's really done a nice job for us and helped us add a component to our offense.
Just love stories like that, guys that are walk-ons into the program that end up popping and making a big impact on the football team. All right, it's Michigan week. Number 2 ranked Wolverines. This is by far the best team Nebraska's played to this date.
Is that a shot at Colorado?
By far. You said it, I didn't say it. They're really good, and they've got multiple guys on offense. McCarthy, Corum. Here's the coach talking about their weapons.
They're all excellent players, and I think when you look at a team like Michigan, I think you look at everybody that they have, the great backs that they have, but quarterback, is an excellent player. He can beat you with his feet. Just when you think you're going to overload the box, he can pull his own read down. He can run a quarterback bounce play. He can spin it. So it's an excellent offense, well put together with a great offensive line, great tight ends, great backs. So they'll challenge every single aspect of everything that you do defensively because they're not afraid to say, hey, we're going to run this ball and get it to the unblocked player. And they expect the standard for them is, hey, you got to make that guy miss. And if he tackles you once, you got to make him miss the next time. And so that's the way we look at football. And when we've had big plays, it's a play like Heinrich where the guy's unblocked, he makes the miss, and he scores a touchdown. So I'd say any and all. They're good at what they do. It'll be a challenge for our guys, a good one.
You got a lot of talent.
They do.
I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and they're good up front, both the offensive and defensive line. But I feel like the way that this defense is believing and the confidence that they have, they're going to be ready for any opponent. I mean, again, a nameless, faceless opponent, and so, but you got to take care of the football against a team like Michigan, right?
Yeah. They beat you differently than like a high-scoring attack might get you because they just pound you down.
Yeah, they just wear you down.
And they don't score real quick sometimes. They'll have 12, 13-play drives. They're only giving up 5 points a game. They just hope nobody's scoring.
I mean, look what happened to Rutgers. They score on their opening drive, and then it's just like, and you think, oh my gosh, look at Rutgers, and then it was slow, but it was just, I mean, it's like kill you slow.
Right.
What is that like?
Kill you slowly.
Death by, what is that saying? Death by
1,000 paper cuts.
Yes.
That's kind of what they are. They don't come out there and put 20 on the board on you in a hurry. They wear you down. Yeah. In fact, Coach was asked, are you kind of mirroring what you want to build here a little bit off of what Harbaugh has done in Ann Arbor?
That's, I mean, you think about when Coach Harbaugh first came in, was taking over, after, I can't remember if it was one or two coaches, and I don't ever want to be, but, a couple of years of not being a great program after being a great program, and he recruited. I mean, I remember I worked one of his camps when I was the head coach at the Temple. You guys probably don't remember, but he was the guy that started the satellite camps, right? And there was a big controversy at the time, right? He was the first person to go at 12:01 to someone's house in recruiting. So I did that then. I didn't like doing it, but I did it because he was doing it. So he's had a real impact on the game. But his sometimes I'll have recruits say to me, like, well, Coach, are we going to be good? And I'm, what, should I go to Michigan? I'm like, well, he did it, so that's what we're doing. So, so his blueprint for building that program, for the way that they play, a lot of those things are similar. Obviously we want to have a little bit of an option element at times too, so there's differences, but the overall arching blueprint for being great on the O&D lines, having good quarterback play, being physical with tight end, all those things, that's what we're doing.
You think about it too, it took him a while. There was a time that Michigan fans were growing impatient.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And it took him a while to build it because it takes time to build that type of style. It's not just like I keep going back to Lincoln Riley, but it's not like a Lincoln Riley type of offense where it just, you score. I mean, you want to do it on both sides of the football, and that just takes a little bit of time to build.
There was Matt and Tommy got a question on Big Red Reaction about, I don't see an identity from the staff. Then you're not looking, because I think in 4 games, we're seeing what they want to be. They want to be good on defense. They want to run the football. We've run for over 200 yards in every game. They want good line play. They want to be solid on special teams. And yes, special teams have been shaky. But he's telling you what he wants to be, and there is clearly an identity in what he wants to do.
Boom Sheeny was back last week, though.
He was good. Very, very good.
He was really good.
And I'm really happy for Timmy.
Yes.
Timmy made a big play.
Okay, so I told you that the 2 biggest celebrations were Timmy and you love that for Timmy, that he's not the starting kicker, but here's an opportunity to contribute. And boy, he's kind of a guy. for a kicker and his demeanor, I mentioned this about the couple of times, a couple kickers can be pretty emotional, but Timmy was real. Both Timmy and Tristan Alvano both are pretty even killed. They didn't get, too emotional. But he was emotional coming off after picking up that first down. He's flexing, and the team is just mauling him. And it was just really a cool moment, and so happy for him. And then, boy, he was fired up. I just love his demeanor on the sideline for a guy that didn't win the starting job. He has been a great teammate, and so love seeing that, and I love that he got that opportunity.
Good to hear. All right, folks, that's the practice report for today, 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or text. Your thoughts about Saturday. We haven't really had any Saturday recaps or reaction from Saturday's Husker win over Louisiana Tech. Cole, are we good to go to a break? All right, we'll take a break. Come back with more next.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student-athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student-athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone. Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit Cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
If problem gambling is burning up your money, there's a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Monday night, 402-413-2400. Let's kind of outline the week for you. Tomorrow night, our football show. Evan Cooper, Husker defensive backs coach, will be here in hour number 1. Our volleyball show will be on Wednesday night this week because they travel on Thursday. They got a pair of road matches coming up at Purdue and Indiana, and it will actually be in hour 2 Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. You got Jessica and I for the full 2 hours on Thursday, and then no show Friday. Husker volleyball playing those Boilermakers at 6 o'clock on Friday night, so no show on Friday. There's your rundown for that. Doug in Norfolk said, Trev briefly touched on it. Will we continue to have a football schedule of 9 conference, 3 non-conference games? Yes, that's what it will be. In fact, Nebraska's got their 3 non-conferences set for next year. UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa. All 3 will be in Lincoln next year. He mentioned that the schedule that came out in June for the conference obviously now needs to be tweaked because since then we've added Washington and Oregon. So he's hoping to have that sooner than later, at least who they're going to play, and maybe not dates, but who they're going to play before we get too deep into the fall. Did you catch the end of the Notre Dame-Ohio State game?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
It was funny because, so my brother, I said this on the pregame show, my brother, his 2 best friends, and then their 2 young boys, they brought them up here, first experience going to a Nebraska football game. One of them was their first experience going to a college football game. And so we were watching that game, and I was screaming, going crazy, because if they wouldn't have won, I would have gotten it handed to me in the picks. That they saved me at least a little bit. You would have really beat me bad. So I was going nuts, and my brother was like, you can't tell we're competitive, can you? I was like, yeah, I needed that point real badly. You're not even listening to me.
I was checking out the text line. checking out the text line.
I was saying yes, so I was paying close attention.
10 guys on the field.
You were going to get a point on me, so I was.
I know.
Yes.
Notre Dame with 10 on the field.
What?
For the
I mean,
last
like,
play.
what happened?
That's bad.
Didn't Coach, he addressed that, right? Didn't he say what happened?
He just said we got confused on what package we want on the field, but they had called timeout before the play before, because they had called timeout to make sure they were lined up right, and then it was the next play. How gutsy is it for Ryan Day to run the football on that play? Because if they stop you short, game's over. You don't have time to clock it and get another snap.
Yeah.
And they were out of timeouts, really risky.
But Again, that's kind of where I went, and I know Notre Dame has won some big games, but that's kind of where I lean towards Ohio State is in those types of games. It's why we all picked Alabama over Ole Miss, right? I mean, prove it to me that you can win these types of games, and I don't know. Ohio State seems to be more of that type of mentality. Hey, no matter what, we're getting this job done because they've won so much recently that it's just that belief is there no matter what is happening at the end of the game, that sometimes that's the push that you need and the confidence that you need over a team that maybe hasn't done that as much.
Yeah. Notre Dame, that was a heck of a game. Good for college football. Really fun night. And how about Northwestern rallying? They were down 31-10 to start the fourth quarter. They scored 3 touchdowns to force overtime, and they beat Minnesota in OT. I did not see that coming. None of us picked that game right.
No. I mean, don't know if we thought Northwestern was going to win another game this year.
Right. I know.
Wow. I mean, I was not watching that game. What the heck happened?
Just they got a couple scores. They were moving the football. Their quarterback, Bryant, the kid from Cincinnati, is not bad. And they just were starting to nickel and dime Northwestern or Minnesota's defense. And the Gophers couldn't get some first downs to kill enough clock. So it was like 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Just a big swing in that game. Indiana wins an overtime game over Akron. So that's a struggle bus for Tom Allen, Jeremiah Searles' team right there. But a little struggle bus for them.
But that just goes to show you, had Minnesota been a team that Nebraska played even the second game or third game, you like the chances. But just the first one out of the gate was just so on the road. I don't know, because I think there's some holes that have been exposed for Minnesota,
They have been.
And had it not been the first game out of the gate, I really think it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, the turnovers is what flipped that game. Greg in Lincoln on our text line, listening to you this evening, and your opinion of the offense differs immensely from a former great Husker and NFL player on a different station. Would appreciate you being more accurate in your Sports Nightly shows. This is what I was reading. In the future, as I definitely would agree with him and his experience. Would appreciate your thoughts. Well, I don't know who you're talking about or really what you're talking about, Greg. I'm just saying people want to know what Matt Rhule is trying to accomplish here. And again, I don't think if you're not seeing it through 4 games, you're not watching, because we're trying to run the football, and we're doing that pretty darn well. And we're trying to play good defense, and we're doing that pretty darn well. So that's what I'm saying. I think there is an identity being built here. I can't comment on somebody else's that you're not even telling me who it is
or what it is.
So if you want to explain that a little bit more, and that's fine. Everybody's got their own opinions, but I certainly see what Matt Rhule's trying to get done here.
I do too. And again, going back to that comment and the comparison with Michigan scored at the end of the second quarter to go up 14-7.
That's right.
And then they really opened it up in the second quarter. Sometimes that's what this offense is going to be. It's just going to be a grind it out. How many times have we heard Coach Rhule say, he said it's not about the start, it's about the finish.
Right.
And it is who's going to be the best team at the end. And a lot of times that's who's the most conditioned, who's the toughest, who is the most physical in the end. And that's when things start to open up. And that's what we saw last week. And I know it was I think it was starting to get there, like you said, before things.
The weather delay.
The lull and the weather and the delay in the game. But it might take and even Damon has said this is a little bit like Novocaine. It takes a little while to get working, but it's just as good. They're going to grind you out, and it will wear you down until where things open up a little bit more in the second half. To me, I think that's where it could be headed. And that's okay. Like, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to put 45 points on the board, because you know what also that does when you are having longer sustained drives is it really helps out your defense. This team is going to play complementary football.
They are.
And bottom line, and that is, I think, the most important thing of all of this is that it's going to be a complementary football team. And so what that looks like in the offense is, it's developing. And how many times have we said this? It takes a while for the offense to get going.
Absolutely. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I don't know, Greg, on your comment about the former Husker, but I think when people talk about we need an identity, I think that's a really old, tired 1990s take on things. What people want is they want winning. And, if I ask somebody, we need an identity because we don't have what's Georgia's identity? They win.
Winning.
What's Lincoln Riley's identity? They score points.
Yeah.
What's Michigan's identity right now? winning. But, I just think it's a tired old take to bring up the identity thing. But I do think Matt Rhule is setting in stone what he wants this program to look like. And again, I'm sorry, Greg, if you don't see that or a former Husker doesn't see that, he's not looking enough.
And here's another thing, again, because my experience with Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley, when he came to Oklahoma, he was an air raid type of guy. He didn't run the football much. But when he got to Oklahoma, he had the personnel. He had a Joe Mixon who was who was a heck of a running back for the Bengals, for Zach Taylor and the Bengals. He had Samaje Perine, who's also playing in the NFL, and he had fullbacks, and so he changed. And so then it was more of a balance. And now that's where he has changed. He's less of an air raid. And I know he's got a guy that throws it a lot in Caleb Williams, but it is not solely air raid.
Right.
And so that's what I'm getting at, is that it evolves too. It depends on your personnel. It depends on what you have year by year. And I think that's what even Coach Satterfield has said from the start, is that it might look different. They might want to throw different looks at different people. Now, I think it's still developing, and I think they would like to take some more shots downfield. But for now, they're starting, and they're relying on what is working for this offense, and it's running the dang football.
You use the perfect word, evolves. Tom Osborne evolved so much during his 25-year run as head coach. He changed his offense multiple times, and the great ones do that.
Because
that's what they do.
It's you have to evolve. You can't stay stuck in whatever. Now, are there certain things that work? But you have to evolve to your personnel. You have to evolve to, game plans, game matchups. Where can you exploit? I mean, you just can't stay the same as it was in 1990.
Exactly right. Hey, Woodhouse Auto Family, they're your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back to name our weekend winners next.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Discover your next Ford with Woodhouse. The truck you've always wanted to the SUV you need, Woodhouse has the full lineup. Plus a huge selection guarantees you'll get the features that matter and at a smart price. Like our current offer on a new Ford F-150. Or needing the versatility of an SUV to take on the everyday. Shop our offers going on now. Find your Ford with Woodhouse online or at one of our 3 convenient locations.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. As worldwide leaders in ag technology, UNL faculty and students innovate using emerging technologies to improve yields and nutrition, and designing wireless in-field networks increasing precision in agriculture. Plus, UNL is breaking ground on a $7.2 million feedlot innovation center near Meade. UNL is doing big things for the future of agriculture.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Back for our final segment of our Monday night show. We save this every week for our weekend winners. What's on your mind?
You going with me first?
Yeah, because they're debating back here.
Well, so I don't know. I guess since I'm a first, I've got to go with Oregon, right?
Well, they put it on them, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, because that was happening during our game. when you told me that score, I was like, oh, that breaks my heart. You know, and again, I know we've all jumped on the Colorado hate train, but they needed to be humbled a little bit. And not only Colorado, but the whole media that were on this bandwagon needed to be brought down a few levels.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to get it again this week. But it was really wearing me thin. And so thank you, Oregon.
The Fox promo that I was watching NFL yesterday. So they're running a promo because Colorado hosts USC this week, and the big noon show's out there again. And the promo says it's the biggest game of the year in college football. Really? Colorado just lost by 35 points against USC, who's really good. That's the biggest game of the year?
Wow. And Alabama and Ole Miss just played. And
Notre Dame, Ohio State was pretty good.
I mean, there's been other.
Florida State, Clemson was a heck of a game on Saturday.
There's been other top-tier matchups, and then there's going to be more coming.
Right. So.
And then, I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Henry, I guess you're playing along with us tonight.
Yep. My winner for this week is Travis Kelce. He had an average game, but that's not really what. I don't think he cares about that.
That was on my list, by the way.
I love it.
Taylor Swift was his game.
Yeah, they're now a couple, right?
That is awesome. What a crazy couple. Did you see Bill Belichick said his biggest catch of his career or his biggest catch of his life is Taylor Swift?
That's something.
He should have been my winner, Bill Belichick, on the quote on T Swift.
Okay, my winner is Bergen Riley. I mean, my goodness, setter of the week, freshman of the week, just doing a great job. Huskers mow down 2 ranked opponents over the weekend, Ohio State Friday night, Minnesota on Sunday. What a great start to the league play, and she is ice. She's got ice in her veins. She never looks like she's rattled. She doesn't play with a ton of emotion, but boy, you just know inside there's a burn inside of her. There's a fire inside of her.
Well, and Coach Cook talked last night about how, even sometimes even in some matches, they have a hard time getting into a rhythm, but yet it never seems to faze her, and she's able to get good sets where they need to be, even if it's out of system for a freshman to be doing what she's doing, it's just so remarkable. And I've had this conversation on the show, but also off the show, and it's really amazing what an elite setter, and not taking away from any of the setters that have been here, but it's amazing the difference an elite setter makes for a team.
Sure does. Sam in Omaha says people are saying Jessica is a closet Colorado fan. Can she confirm or deny?
Like they're right there with Texas for me.
Yeah. They're pretty good. The Longhorns are pretty good.
So is Oklahoma. Where did they come from?
Oklahoma's pretty good too. That was a battle for them in Cincinnati. That was a low-scoring battle for them over the weekend. The Red River rivalry, which is in a couple weeks, is going to be a heck of a game.
It is. It really is. I mean, but Texas does have some things working. But, yeah, exactly. Colorado, Texas are right up there for me, let me tell you.
Speaking of volleyball, you were recording a new episode of The Dig. Is it out yet?
It is out with Jalen Reyes. It is dropped on our YouTube channel and our podcast platforms. It was great. We talked about defense and blocking, and also have a special guest that is going to be filling in for Searles, who's off the grid this week, elk hunting. We got Josh Bandera is going to fill in for him. So we'll talk a little black shirts.
Yeah, you'll talk a little defense.
Yes.
Not all this offensive line talk you get into weekend.
You're going to miss the O-line talk, Greg.
I think I'm fine for 1 week. Put that away. All right, tomorrow night, our football show, Evan Cooper, Husker defensive backs coach, will be here in hour number 1. Again, our volleyball show moved up to Wednesday night this week because they travel on Thursday. Thanks to Henry and Cole, to all of you for listening tonight. Have yourself a great night. Back with you again tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Greetings, human neighbor.
Hey, Zendar. I brought you a little gift for suggesting Nebraska Pick 5 from the Nebraska Lottery. It's a great game.
Affirmative. Since the Pick 5 jackpot grows by $10,000 each time it is not won, your enthusiasm is logical. However, no gratuity is required.
You sure? It's 10 gallons of wiper fluid.
I have reconsidered. Would you care to help Marlex and I consume it?
No, I'm good.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
Did you know that Lincoln's water is 4 times more hard than what is recommended? This will shorten the life of your water heater, harm pipes through mineral buildup, and is bad for your hair, skin, and clothes. What's the solution? A water softener. Go online to jhlincoln.com to learn more about water softeners and our flexible financing offers, or call
John Henry's 435-5555.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Flu season is here, and your Hy-Vee pharmacy is here to help you stay healthy. Get your flu shot at Hy-Vee today and get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. You can get your flu shot anytime the pharmacy is open. No appointment necessary. That's right. Get your flu shot with no appointment necessary. Get your flu shot today and earn a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new